Hi guys, welcome. I'm excited you're joining me for this super awesome fun giveaway. I have a new setup, so I'm trying something new. Let me know if you can't hear me. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or a like. I'm hoping I'm not too terribly loud because my voice with this new camera system, I hope it works. But if you're new here, my name is Carolyn, and I've been a teacher for 15 years. Perfect. I'm hearing that people can hear me. I've taught grades pre-K to 4th grade. I spent 5 years in pre-K. Actually, the same pre-K that I attended when I was little. So that was pretty awesome to teach in the same pre-K. Unfortunately, we live in Florida and there was a hurricane and it completely collapsed our entire building. And from there, I went to college and became a teacher. And my first year teaching was 1st grade. And every year I kind of changed grades. But ultimately, I fell in love with kindergarten. And that happened to be my favorite grade. 1st grade and pre-K being my closest. I taught 5 years in a public school and then 5 years in a charter school. And ultimately, this is now my full-time job. And I absolutely love helping teachers. So I hope that this giveaway will be awesome for you guys so that you get some free resources, pre-made, and it's ready to use in the classroom. Hi guys, hi Carrie. So like I said, this is my full-time job, absolutely love it. So please give me some feedback on how you like this giveaway and maybe something that you would like to see next. And make sure you hit follow because I'll be updating with some new resources and freebies, and you definitely don't want to miss any of those good things. So today's video is all about dental health, but it's how do I incorporate that in literacy centers. So you're not going to see any math centers. This is all literacy centers, and it's themed with dental health. And you're going to see a wide variety of different resources from pre-K all the way up to 1st grade. But if you're a 2nd grade teacher, please don't skip out because you're going to see that these activities can be just tweaked a teeny bit and it will be perfect for a 2nd grade classroom. So I hope I inspire you. I hope you are excited about this giveaway, as excited as I am. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is giving away pre-made literacy centers. So these are already laminated, they're already cut out. And literally, I'm going to ship them to you, and it's ready for the classroom. It comes with the manipulatives. It comes with anything that you need to make the center work. And I'm going to be kicking off, hopefully soon, pre-made centers. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been doing spurts of pre-made centers and shipping them to you guys, and it was amazing. Unfortunately, I know you guys are teachers, and the affordability is what I was kind of working with and trying to get everything covered where you guys can afford it and I can get something off of your plate, because I know that we spend hours upon hours trying to get these amazing resources for your students, and it takes time. And unfortunately, it also kind of cuts into the time with your family. So if I can take an hour, maybe 2 hours out of your week and get you prepared, I think that's an awesome, great thing. So I want to be able to give some of them away free today so you can see how it works, you can see what it looks like, and then hopefully I'll have a big giveaway and then we'll be able to get started with that. So let's get started. I'm going to be selecting random winners, and I'm going to be holding up special secret cards. Now, I gave my hubby the job of picking the random winners so that it's not me. He's going to pick it, and then I will let you guys know who the winners are. I'm going to go through 16 centers, and I'm going to talk about every single one. I'm going to talk about what you're going to win and how do I incorporate it in my classroom. These are all centers that I've had in my classroom successfully. Now, I know not everything works for everybody, but this is things that worked for me, and I hope that they'll work for you. Hello guys, thank you for popping in. So the first center that I'm going to talk about is Write the Room. If you've heard Write the Room or you've done Write the Room, hit like right now, because I'm going to throw a little spin on Write the Room. Now most times, this is fun. You'll see that it's an engaging activity where your students move up across the room, but they're still focused on a specific learning, whether that's vocabulary, sight words, alphabet, or even themed words. Now, this center is a staple center, and that means that I reuse this center over and over again, but I only teach the expectations once. I know that's kind of crazy, but once. And I teach it and teach it and teach it until the kids get it perfect, and I'm easily able to just change out a theme, and the kids already know what to do. They know how to put it away, they know where it goes, they know how to play it, and I don't really have to do anything. Usually about mid-year, I'll do a recap and we'll go over center expectations. Besides that, my centers run absolutely smooth. They know what to do. There was one time where I had to go to the bathroom. I flagged down another teacher so that we could switch so I could go to the bathroom. Literally, the kids didn't even notice I was gone. Like, they were able to do the centers, they rotate, be able to do it all independently. And I'm talking kindergarten. So this is the first center that I teach, is right through. I teach how we put the pencils, where do the clipboards go, where does the recording sheets go. I teach them how to put everything inside of the center container, and I have pictures on the center container exactly how I want it, and we practice it and practice it and practice it until it's perfect. And actually, I posted a video on YouTube how I did this the first week of school and how successful it was. So I know I get asked a lot, like, okay, so they're walking around the room, they're engaged, but are they going to get bored doing this all year long? And absolutely not. They do not get bored. And here is the reason why they do not get bored. Because, yes, I change out the themes. I make it fun. But I also differentiate it to the students. So you'll have themed cards. Now, of course, this is all about dental health. So the cards that I have are dental health. Now, these are just the word cards. But I also include sentence cards. And all of the sentence cards have different punctuation. So you'll be able to include, capitalization, periods, question marks, and there's different recording sheets so that you can also differentiate it too. So you could have the students writing their own sentences. You could have the students writing the sentences and circling the verbs. You could have the students working on sentences but working on punctuation. So there's so many different opportunities for you to be able to differentiate for all of your learners. Same with recording sheets. Here is sentences or words with lines, and then there's sentences, all lines. There's also sentences with tracing. And then also for my pre-K students, I have Danielian as well included. Danielian in the recording sheets, Danielian in all of the cards. And it also comes with I Can posters, and this keeps the kids accountable. I mean, I do teach Ask 3 before me, but this is so kid-friendly that they're able to go right along with. They know exactly what to do. But this has, hi guys, thank you for joining, exactly what the kids are doing, and has pictures so it matches up. Going with the theme of dental health, I like to have the kids dress up, and usually that's like really cool themed glasses or hats, but going with dental health, I chose dressing up like the Tooth Fairy. I even have a lot of my boys that like to dress up like the Tooth Fairy. I do also include, if they want to dress up like a dental hygienist, and again, the roles could be reversed. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. I let them dress up however they would like. And these are so cool because they light up. My students absolutely loved them. So included in this winter, you're going to get all 3 of these things so you can implement right the room. You'll be getting the recording sheets, the I Can posters, you'll be getting the word cards, you'll be getting the sentence cards. So all you literally have to do is put it up on the wall. Easy. And of course, teaching the expectations. So to win this center, are you guys ready? The secret code is right. So right now in the comments down below, all you have to do is type right. And I'll be picking a random winner. So it's easy. All you have to do is type right. And then I'm having Steve pick the winner. So it's out of my hands who wins, but this is a fun center that the kids truly do enjoy. I know when we did Halloween, we did Room on the Broom. I let the kids dress up like, you know, witches around, and some dressed up like cat and dog, like the story Room on the Broom. We've dressed up in so many different ways, depending on whatever the theme is for that week. And since this is dental health and it's February, I keep my centers all February long. So this will be in the center along with a Valentine's Day one, a President's Day one. So they get to dress up however they would like. But it keeps it fresh and the kids don't get bored. Thanks, guys. You guys are so sweet. All right, so that is center number 1, right the room. No joke, guys, my entire counter is full of centers, and I'm so excited to show you all of them. And if you didn't get it, guys, the special code is right, and a random winner is going to be picked. All you have to do is write right. And if I missed your question, please feel free to ask me again because the comments are going fast. So I know I've missed a couple questions. Awesome. Thanks, Amy. So center number 2 is Rollin' Right. And this is another staple in my center. This is a freebie, guys. If you've been following me, you know that I started my own website called Carolyn's Creative Classroom, and you can download this right now. I have about 4 different sets in my store, but going with the dental health theme. So to play, students roll the dice, and then whatever number they land on, they have to write the word, the letter, depending on what you choose. So now you can see that this is blank here. And I just wanted to show you that you are able to type whatever you would like. So whatever you're working on. So if you're working on the word family at, you could do cat, hat, bat, rat, fat. If you're working on, like you're in 1st grade and you're working on UR, IR, ER, you're able to write the words that you want them to focus on. Or if you're working on letters for pre-K, it's easy, just put the letters. And since it's editable, you can put your Danielian font as well. So it's really cool because you can differentiate. So how do I differentiate? I have these tabs that I put them in. So literally I only have to print a couple that I need. And I put them straight in the sleeves and the kids write with Expo markers. Another way is laminating them. And again, they can write on them. But there are also times where I will copy them because the students like to take them home to show their parents. And there's multiple different ones. So you have your tooth, you have flossing, you have the smiling, the mouth, you have the tooth fairy. So lots of different options. So please do check out my website for this freebie because you could print it right now. But to win, I like to, if you're not using Expo markers and you're copying it, to theme the pencils that go with this. So, of course, if we're going with dental health, I'm picking tooth. And there's lots of different ones you can find on Amazon. All the links for everything that I'm showing you that you're able to win is going to be on the top of this post, and it says Amazon, and I put everything dental health in there. So it's easy to find. So there's 24 pencils, all dental health. And then I'm also giving away dice because you can't play without dice. And students are so engaged when you include dice games. Now, I know sometimes the dice can get a little loud and a little crazy. So one tip I have is putting them in a container and shaking it. And then the dice will not fly off the tables. I know sometimes I've done the dollar store clear containers, but sometimes they're hard to see through, so you have to really pick through which ones are good. Another thing that I do is baskets. And if the dice rolls out of the basket, they lose their turn. And the kids try to keep it in the basket because they want to win. So to win this center, type in the special code DICE. So center number 2 is rolling right, and the special code is DICE. So you'll win all of the recording sheets, the pencils, the dice, the container with the dice. You guys are awesome. And I think I'm a little slow in the comments, so if I miss it, hi Hope, thank you for joining me. Hi Tina, thank you for joining me. So the special code is DICE, write it down below. I love the bigger dice just because the kids like to hold on to it, they get excited, and then there's different colors, so it's something new. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to write dice, and we'll pick a random winner. And I'm going to go get my third number center. All right, moving on to center number 3 of 16. Now, if you know me, guys, you know how much I heart literacy centers, but the best part is sensory bins. Like, they have, like, the biggest, it fills my heart, guys, just because I know that the kids are getting what they need. So what is a sensory bin? It's just typically a bin. It could be plastic, it could be small, it could be large, and it's filled with some sort of material or object that stimulates the senses. Touching, feeling, smelling, and a sensory bin can be filled with like a large variety of different materials. You could have shredded paper, you could do water beads, you could do water, you could do sand. It's like endless amount of things that you could put in there. Now, depending on the age group that you have, depends on what kind of things. Also, if you're in a daycare center, they do have certain things that you can't have. And then know that your students that have different, like I know I'm allergic to gluten, so different allergies to make sure. So Play-Doh, I always have to make my own Play-Doh, but make sure that you keep your allergies in mind for this center. So I know a lot of people tell me, oh my goodness, Carolyn, I don't have enough space. I can't do a center bin. Oh, it makes a lot of a mess. And I keep telling you guys, just try it out. Promise, just try it out. So here is a center that is small. So you can have one student, you can have 2 students. I recommend the smaller sensory bins that you keep it 1 to 2 students. And this sensory bin is CBC words. Now, you can easily adapt this for letters and letter sounds or reading fluency. There's a lot of different ways that you can adapt this. So if you have a small space and you don't have a large bin or a big full-blown sensory bin, because they are expensive, I get it. But a plastic dish tub from the dollar store, those white bins, which is what I put in my centers and all of the recording sheets, work perfect. Containers like this, they come from the dollar store, super cheap. Sometimes you'll get it where a student falls on it and breaks it and cracks it, but at least you're able to replace it for $1. So how do I make it? So you fill it in with whatever material that you want. For this particular one, I chose the packing peanuts because I feel like they look like teeth. And then I have little teeny tiny teeth with letters. Now I wrote on these teeth with the permanent markers, Sharpies. So they have to dig through the sensory bin looking for these letters to build the CBC words. And of course, going with dental health, you know, you have to do toothbrush and teeth. And So you have bag, so they look for B-A-G. I know there's a glare because it's laminated, but they look for the teeth. And then I know I took a picture of it, and I know you guys were wondering, and I told you I would tell you. So the Melissa and Doug, which I absolutely love their items, I use their bins that come in it for different literacy centers too. So you'll see here that this actually was a train set that I used from Polar Express when I made the trains go around to spell the letters and CVC words. So the trains were in here, but all I did was have the teeth, and then they spelled the CVC word here, and they can check it. So I didn't put stickers on here because I didn't want to ruin it just in case somebody doesn't want it to be self-correcting, but you'll take the stickers and put it on the back and spell the word. So if it's SAP, S-A-P, you just put it on the back and the kids can make it self-correcting. And then they have all the ones that they find in here, and they search and they spell the CVC words. It makes it easier to clean up because I know sometimes sensory bins can get a little messy, but I let them get messy. I mean, they're kids. It's going to happen. Even I make a mess. I am one to trip and fall easy, so I do not get mad at them if they make a mess. My only rule is that you make the mess, you clean it up. And the kids really get onto it. As soon as they make a mess, they're the one to sweep it up, pick it up. So for me, it doesn't matter. I know sometimes people get bothered if it's a mess with just teacher students, and I promise you that this is going to be a center that they absolutely love. Again, comes with I can statement. And you'll see I did it front to back because there's two different types of recording sheets depending on how you use this center. So I always include recording sheets. It keeps them accountable. And this goes inside of their center folder so that I'm able to check their work. So you're going to get a full bag of teeth. And it's perfect, actually. You could probably get 2 or 3 teachers out of this if you really wanted to, depending on what you would like. Now, I chose just the short letters of A, but there are other options if you choose the sensory bin. And you guys ready for the special code? Dun, dun, dun. And I'll give you guys the tub too, so that it's ready to go for you. And you also get the full bag of the packing. So again, you could probably get 3 teachers out of this one if you wanted to share with your teammates. And the secret code is tooth. So if you just now joining me, all you have to do is type the secret code down below, and a random winner will be picked to win this entire center, sensory bins for CVC words. I'm going to try to catch up on any of the comments, make sure I don't miss anybody. And again, guys, if I miss your comment, I'm so sorry. Love it, Anna. Thank you. Perfect. I'll give you a couple seconds to type in the code. And I'm going to go grab the next center. All right, and guys, I'm sorry if you can hear my cats. I do have a couple loud kitty cats, and they're probably wondering why I'm talking and not letting them in this room. So center number 4 of 16 is CVC blending cards. And blending just involves pulling together the individual sounds within words. And then segmenting involves breaking the word down into individual sounds. And these are, foundational skills that really help these kids learn to read. So blending for a lot of kids is a challenge. I know that sometimes when we're doing our testing, we want to pull our hair out when it comes to blending. I mean, how many times do you test a student and the word is cat and they go at monster truck? And you're like, whoa, guys, where did monster truck come from? So not particular one strategy is going to work for every single student, but I'm going to show you one strategy that works for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. Again, keeping up with the dental health theme, my cards look like this, and you'll see green, yellow, red for beginning, middle, and end. And of course, I make them tap out the tooth, so tapping out the sounds. And one way that I teach them to tap out the sounds is something I found effective. You can find this really cool lunch container on Amazon. Most of the time, I will use the small, it's kind of like a eating tray, but with this, I use a one that's more deep because I have them tap out the sounds, and these are squishy balls. So I literally have them tap out the sound and push down. So it's really good for your kinesthetic learners. And so you can really isolate the sounds, making the CVC word. Another way you could also use this are these counters. Now they're clear. I used to use them, I know it's going to age me a little bit, but the projectors, and you would put the clear things through so you could do the math manipulatives. Yeah, guys, I used to use that. So green, yellow, red, again, putting it on the cards, and then having them maneuver the sound, so going so that you can isolate each individual sound and then blending it together. There's also the dollar store lights for tapping out the sounds. They're super cheap, so I'll use that in my small group so I can control the center and sounding out the sounds. I know a lot of them will use your arm tapping. There's multiple ways, so there is no right way or wrong way of teaching it, but this is something that really worked well in my classroom. Now, these are a little bit expensive, so I used them in my small group, and then after I taught it, I only had this in a group where it's paired together. So I actually only I kept 5 of them, but I've had them paired up, so 2. And then they would check each other. And on the back, again, you can also draw pictures or whatever if you wanted to make it self-correcting. But this is one thing that I used in my reading group. So you will get the balls, and there are some blue ones in there. And I tend to use some of my centers in my calm down center because I'm very hands-on. So stress and squeezing, this is something that I teach the kids, breathing in and out, and squeezing and releasing some of the anger. So this works well too. I mean, if you have kids that throw things, I wouldn't necessarily use this one right away, but this worked well. And then I also, because it is in my center, I can, and then I love incorporating different, and you'll see that I have 2 different dentists, and I included the Tooth Fairy song and brushing your teeth, so that I'll use these and they'll sing them in their literacy center, and then recording sheets, and you will get all the recording sheets. There's multiple different ones depending on where your kids are, so it's easy to differentiate. And if you don't want to make copies, again, put them in sleeves. Works perfect. So you're going to get the balls, the cards, the counters, I can statement, all of that. And the special code is CVC. All you have to do is type in CVC down below and a random winner. This is a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for joining me. Perfect. Thank you. And honestly, guys, I actually bought this lunch cart for me, and I am terrible at packing my lunch. And I just happened to see that there was 3 of them, and I put the cards in, and that's how I realized, oh, this will work for CVC words. Just catching up on the comments. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. All right, center number 4 is done. Giving you a couple seconds to type in CVC to be entered, because only the people who are watching this right now that are typing are going to be able to win these particular centers. But if you stay to the end, there is a Teachers Pay Teachers gift card at the end for watching, and there's also a game that I'm giving away. So make sure you stay to the end. Give you a couple more seconds to type in CVC. No worries if you spell it wrong. As long as you're typing it now, I see it. All right. So center number 5 is sight words. And these are words that students can recognize like that within 3 seconds. And they can read without having to decode. So the CVC words we're teaching them to decode, but these words we're not teaching them to decode. And about 50% of our written material is made up of 100 of these most frequent, used words. So being able to recognize the sight words just helps the students be able to read faster, become more fluent readers, and better readers because they can comprehend. And I'm not saying sight words are the end-all be-all, but it is one tool, and it's very important that we teach it just like we teach phonics and phonemic awareness. And as a kindergarten teacher, I'm usually the first one that teaches them, and I begin within the first couple weeks. So I focus a lot on letters, and I focus a lot on letter sounds, but we get started pretty quickly. And there's so many different techniques and strategies in teaching sight words, so I won't go into all of that. But I will tell you that I do incorporate them into my literacy centers. And I do that a lot with games. And I do that a lot with sight word mats. So being able to manipulate and be able to use those different materials to build sight words. And the more hands-on you can be, the more practice you give them, the better they're going to be. And this is a center that, again, is a staple center. So I use them all year long. All I have to do is change out the theme. The students know what they're doing. And again, I always start with my I can. You'll see that this is a theme. In most of my centers, I try to include them because I want them to know exactly what they're doing. And all I have to do is if I walk around and I see somebody not doing it and just tap like this, I don't need to say a word. They know exactly what they need to be doing. It comes with sight word mats, and I incorporate a variety of different ones. You'll see here, there's where they build it, but you'll see here where they build it and they have to write it. So again, you're able to differentiate for multiple different learners. Comes with 100 fry sight words. Now there is also a Dolch list one, and there's also an editable one. So if you're like, oh, my kid's not ready for sight words, but they're still working on names, there's an editable version that you can use, and you can type in names, or if you're looking at a certain phonics skill that you want to target, again, it's editable. So they pick a card, they read it, and this is where they partner read. So their partner has to check their reading. And then they have letter cards going with the dentist theme. That, of course, it had to be tooth. So they take out the letters and they spell them on the mat to spell. So these will spell T-H-E-S-E, and they put it on the mat. I laminate them because I have them use the one that they have to spell it. So literally they're spelling it and they're writing, so they're getting double practice. So read it, build it, write it. Now, I know that this is fun, and you're probably thinking, gosh, this could get boring after a while. Not boring with me, guys. I am going to have them dress up like a dentist. So they get to wear, if you want them to wear the mask or not. And included in this set, there's a cool tray. It's hard to see, but there's a tray in there, and there's glasses, so I let them wear the glasses. And in the tray, this is where they take their tongs, and they pick the letters out, and they put it inside of the tray to spell the word. Their partner checks it, and then they build it on their mat. And then they flip-flop, and the partner will read and build. So going with the dentist theme, they're able to dress up, so that's fun and engaging. They're spelling the words, or practicing their sight words, and the more that you can practice with them, the more that they're going to get it. So I practice, obviously, it's in my morning meeting, the sight words. I'm practicing it during my whole group instruction, small group instruction, and in literacy centers. So you're going to win this whole dentist kit. Now, there are pieces in there that I won't use for my sight word mat, but if you're like a pre-K teacher and you want to incorporate that into dramatic play, this is a really cool set because it even has a dentist chair. So if you had like Barbies or dolls or whatever, you can use this set as well. And if sight words are too hard for your kids, and you happen to win this set, just let me know and I'll send you the editable version so you can do letters or name practice. You just let me know, but this is pre-made, so you'll get the whole set. You'll get the doctor set, the mats, and the secret code is sight words. I know, that's absolutely huge. So make sure you type in the secret code. And my internet's going slow, so I see some of the comments. Like I said, guys, I tried to get this where it's pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, so multiple teachers can join me. So again, I appreciate if you're watching now. Multiple uses. I tried to bring it all together so that we can help each other out. Good. Yep, sight words. I think my comments are a little bit slower. All right, you guys ready for number 6? And I hope I'm not too loud. I know my voice is really loud, guys, and I don't know with this new setup if I'm too loud. All right. While I'm talking about number 6, if you're still typing in sight words, no problem at all. Just comment down below. So going with the dental health theme, I had sight words, but mats also I include for my lower level ones, just because I was teaching kindergarten. And about this time, if my kids are working on alphabet, they're in my small knit group of I need to really focus on their letters and letter sounds. But if this is pre-K, this is perfect for you guys. Alphabet mats. And these alphabet mats can be used over and over again to practice letter recognition. But if you're also focused on beginning sounds, these are perfect too, because there's a phonics component. You'll see here that there's a picture, and then also there is a word. And I teach these as kind of like vocabulary words, so I'm exposing the kids to whatever our themed words are. And usually they'll find these themed words in my writing. So I have a whole word wall. If you've been watching some of my posts, I have a word wall that's a writing center, and again, that's a staple center, and those words will match up with these words. So as I teach these words, they're going to see them multiple places. They're going to read about these words, so it's important to teach these words. And there's multiple ways of using and implementing these alphabet mats. They're fantastic to help the kids with the fine motor skills needed for gripping a pencil. Not only that, like I said, there's the phonics component on each of the mats. So if I'm pairing them up with a mid to low student, all the mats have beginning sounds, but I also incorporated the hard and soft sound of C and G, which is a skill that even kindergarten first grade is working on. So you're going to find all uppercase, all lowercase. You're going to find that all vowel sounds. So you can see here, this one only has one, but if you flip it over, because I keep them front to back, you have short and long sounds of each individual vowel sound. And there's so many ideas that you can use with these mats to keep them exciting. You can have Play-Doh to build the letters. For fine motor strength, you could use tweezers and using pom-poms for eye-hand coordination. But I have to say my ultimate, because I'm hashtag obsessed with Target erasers. But these actually you can find on Amazon because I couldn't find any from Target. Is these, they're so cute, little tooth erasers. So they're teeny tiny, and they use it to build the word. And what I like about this is that they have to read it, and I make them circle the beginning sound that matches, then trace the letters, and then build the letters. So you have multiple practice for the letters. So you're going to get all of these plus my tooth erasers. And because, like I said, I'm obsessed, the secret code for this one is eraser. So if you want to win the alphabet mats, just type in eraser down below in the comments. And I laminated them so that you can use Expo markers, and then you just take an eraser and erase it, and you can reuse these mats year after year after year. So comment below, eraser, for a chance to win. I'm going to give you guys a little bit to type that in while I grab the next center. And this one's a big one. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for joining me. Oh, perfect. I'm glad I sound fine. I'm just now seeing your comments. I know we are loud, but my laugh is so loud that when I was trying this out, the bar was jumping super high. Perfect. I'll give you a couple seconds to type eraser. All right, so I'm going to go on to center number 7 of 16, but if you're just joining me, make sure that you type in eraser to be entered to win. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I incorporate sight words. So I told you before I did the sight word mats. Here's another strategy that works really well for my kids is games. So playing games is just a great way for the students to learn and reinforce those sight words that they need to learn. Because students who obviously read high frequency words by sight words increase their confidence, become fluent readers, and it can be boring at times if you're not able to incorporate fun things. So my students don't even think they're working when they're in centers. They call it fun time. And really they're working just as hard as they're working with me. But games is a great way to incorporate that. And so going with the dental theme, I chose these games because my students absolutely loved them, and I had to share this with you. Now there are multiple different games here. So for this particular one, I'm going to show you Crocodile Dentist. And how they play is that they have to, so I'm going to give you my how to play cards just in case you forget, but students will place the cards face down so that they can't see them. Now, depending on where the students are, you can differentiate that. Pick the cards that work for your students. You're not going to want to pick the cards that the students don't know because you don't want it at a frustration level. You want them to be able to read the words and practice them because you want them to become fluent. So you put them face down, and then student 1 will take the card and then read the sight word. Student 2 checks the word. So now you can see where I, for a lot of my centers, pair them up. Because at one time, I might even have like 15 centers going on at one time. So I have the kids paired off into 2, but this is a center that you can really do 4 if you would like. 2 is ideal for me because it just seems to run smoother. The kids know what to do. I know it seems like chaos if you were to walk in because there's so many kids going all around in centers, but it just works for me. But if, like I said, if you can't do to the 2 players, you want to do 4, it works perfect as well. And if student 1 cannot read it, student 2 prompts them. And I teach my kids the strategy of prompting and helping out. And if they cannot read it, then student 2 can technically steal the card. Now, you do not have to play that way, but that's one way that we play. And if you don't want to, you could place it at the bottom of the pile and have student 2 read it, or you could have student 2 read it, and then they take the card and play. But after 1 answers, they push the tooth down. So this happened to be mine. So you take the head until it makes a sound, and then you push down the tooth, and you can see here, and randomly it closes. And whichever one it closes on, I say the student loses. Now, we teach technically no kids lose because we play to have fun, but the kids absolutely loved the center. I had it going from 2 and 2, so I had 4 kids playing. And like I said, it was like absolutely so much fun, and I catered it to the sight words that they needed and the ones that they were working on and practicing at their independence level. And you are going to get 100 fry sight words included in this. But I do have Dolch sight words included in the packet if you find it on Teachers Pay Teachers. And I told you if you stay tuned, I am going to be giving away a hippo one, I'm going to be giving away a dinosaur one, and I'm going to be giving away a shark one. And this one actually looks so much cooler than the whale one that I had, shark or whatever that was. But for this particular one, for the sight word one, you're going to get the crocodile dentist. Like I said, stay tuned for the other 3 because I'm going to show you how you're going to win that. But for this one, you're going to win the crocodile dentist, the how to play, the cards. And dun dun dun, the secret code is game, because I teach my students to play games in centers, and it's fun, it's engaging, and the kids absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to grab the next center, and all you have to do is type game down below. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Minnie. Thank you for joining me. For the ones just joining me, make sure that you comment down below. Aw, thanks, guys. All you have to do is type in the word game, G-A-M-E, down below in the comments for a chance to win that really cool game. Yes, and the crocodile, actually all of those games are on Amazon, and if you click the link up when I talked about this post, you can find the link to all of those games. So if you don't win, you can see them on Amazon. All right, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to type in game. I'm going to go get my next center. And for this one, there will be 2 winners. Oh no, I don't know if I'm losing you guys or not. All right, can you hear me, guys? Because it was cutting in and out. I hope I'm not losing internet. If you can hear me, hit like. I don't know, I think I'm losing you guys. Looks like I have internet. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? All right, I'm going to try again, guys. I'm going to end it, and I'll come right back. Okay, it looks like it's still working. It's just freezing on my end. So I'm going to keep going if you can hear me. Perfect. All right, so center number 8 is sand and salt trays. And it's important for preschoolers to practice forming letters before they learn to write with a pencil and paper. And there are some kinders that come to me that have never been to pre-K. So this is just a really effective tool that I use in my classroom. It's just one way to do this is just with sensory writing trays. And these trays are very easy to put together. It's a great addition to your writing center. So a sensory writing tray is just a shallow container. Looks like this. Filled with any material that can be moved around with your finger or a writing tool. So how do you make it? Well, this tray here I found at Target for $1 because the $1 section is actually my favorite spot to shop at. But there's also another tray that's a little bit bigger. Technically, it's not made for a writing tray, but I use it anyways. The Trace and Lace containers. I use these in Fun Friday, and then I take out the materials, and it's a perfect writing tray. So what materials do I use inside of here? Well, you can use sugar, you could use sand, you could use salt, you could use cornmeal. I kind of steer away for the sugar because in Florida we have like so many bugs, and my classroom has enough bugs and we don't need any more. So I go with salt, and I try to after every center I'll clean it up so that it goes into a container so that way it doesn't get spilled throughout the day. I like to add sometimes, because I'm the sparkle queen, I know it's hard to see, but I will add sparkles to this. And for the writing utensils, pre-K, I really encourage them to use their finger just for that fine motor and practice. But when it comes to kindergarten, I try to add some more utensils. And what I will use, of course, I'm making it dental health, so I had to use these cool trays and these writing tools. And you can see here this is ACT, so all I do is spell A-T. And there's letters and sight words included. And like I said, there was going to be 2 winners. I'm going to choose one for letters and one for sight words, depending on where your students are at. And to make it fun, I told you about the writing utensil. These are drink stirrers from Target. I just happen to use them for January. I also, for January, added little cool skating figurines onto these drink stirrers, and I had it where they were making the letters and the sight words with them. If you wanted to change the color of the sand, which I do often, I just use a little bit of the gel food coloring, and then I mix it up. If you want to add a different sense of smell, you could use peppermint, you could use vanilla extract, and all you do is mix it together again, and it's perfect. So for my winners today, you're going to get So I want you to type the secret code, and then I want you to put either letters or sight words. For my letters, you're going to get the tray. You're going to get 2 trays. You're going to get the letters, and then you're going to get the special wands. And for my sight words, you're going to get the bigger trays with the sight words, and also, because I have 2 of them. So the special word is sand, because it is one of my favorite tools to use for writing. So type in sand and then type in letters or type in sight words after it. So I will pick one winner of each. And while you're typing it in, those writing trays work really well, but you can also go onto Amazon and you can use these big trays and fill them, because you want it shallow so that they can see what they're spelling or what they're writing. These work really well as well. And I use these as writing trays, but I also will use them when kids are doing art projects and you want to keep things contained in an area. Those work really well too. The only downfall on these is there's no top for them and they're shallow. So sometimes they could spill, but depending on how your kids are and what you trust them with, these also could work quite well. Perfect. I'm starting to see some comments now. Yes, there's so many different pointers that you can use and have different styles that work just as well. And you can also add pom-poms to the end of markers and have them spell. Those work well too. All right, while you're typing, I'm going to move on to center number 9. Thank you to everybody that stayed with me. I know I talk a lot, so this is a little bit longer than I was thinking, but it is a lot of centers and a lot of things to win. Thank you, guys. All right, so center number 9 is Play-Doh. Now, many students who do not have strong, fine motor skills usually will be the ones that easily become frustrated when doing tasks that require writing. And with kindergarten, we write a lot, and that usually leads to poor self-esteem, anxiety, stress when they're writing, and that's something that we want to avoid. So kneading the Play-Doh and rolling what I call like snakes, long, skinny things, is just a great way to strengthen and build their sensory activity. And oftentimes, unfortunately, this is neglected in kindergarten because we're so focused on rigor and we're so focused on academic standards. So I try to incorporate Play-Doh as much as I can in an academic standard, and these mats here are perfect. I have included dental health mats. These are letters, so you can see here. They build the letters, they write the letters, and then they stamp the letters. Now you can see this is Denalian though, if you flip it over. So I have included both just in case, so I didn't know who was going to win and who would want what. So you have both sets front to back here. And I included this Play-Doh. When I have the kids building, I will let them use some of these tools to build the letters. You don't necessarily have to, or if you're pre-K and you just want them to have a little bit of fun, I have included this inside the giveaway for Play-Doh. And as you can see, my students really absolutely love this. Now, like I said, I'm full-time, so I am going to include this used one. If you happen to be the winner and you would like it, just let me know. And so you'll have 2 sets of these. And like I said, fine motor is so important and is often neglected. So I wanted to make sure I incorporated that into these centers. And your code is fine motor. So make sure that you comment below fine motor. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. And make sure that you share and tag your friends after all of this, because I absolutely would love to be able to do more of these videos and be able to give this stuff away to you guys. I know that these in your classrooms are going to be awesome and amazing, and I can't wait to hear all about them in your classroom. Okay, guys, it wouldn't be me if I didn't include another sensory bin. I told you I love sensory bins, but this one right here is one that's brand new, just made. And as you can see, this is in a tin foil bin. Super cheap, easy, and it happens to be the same tin foil bin that I use to dye my rice in. So I just wanted to tell you that you can repurpose and reuse it, and the kids can play in it, and this is an easy cleanup, easy to replace. It doesn't have to be super expensive. Sensory bins are outrageous, and they can be so expensive. I know I've bought some and have hid the price from my boyfriend at times, and I've made my own sensory bin, so I know all about trying to keep it cheap and budget friendly. This center right here is all about rhyming. So they're going to pick one word, and you can see I have included the word so that if they couldn't figure out what the picture is, they can read the word spring. Now, I made them have to match 2 other things, so there's 3 different pictures that go with that. You don't have to include all 3 of them. Depending on how you want to ramp up the rigor, how you want to determine what works best for your students. But I wanted to give you the ability to be able to, if you wanted to review rhyming, or if you really wanted to push your kids to focus on rhyming, all in between. You can differentiate it super easy. And there's the recording sheet that goes along with it. And as you can see here, that they have to name all 3. You do not have to use it that way if you don't want to. You could have them write 2 words and draw the picture. So adapt it to your needs. And if you wanted to, there are labels that you can put on the back of the cards. I talked about how you can write the words and make it self-correcting. This is one way to make it self-correcting, and it's like literally slap it on, and then I laminate them, and then the stickers don't peel and the kids have the answers. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, which is why I am including it if you want to do it, but it's not on there. And then these really cool squishies. So you have toothpaste, you have teeth, you have toothbrushes, and there's a bunch of them. They're really cool. I swear, guys, they're like I could play with them all day. So they're included inside the sensory bin, and you could add shredded paper, you could add rice, you could add whatever you would like inside of this recording or inside of the sensory bin. Literally tin foil, bam, done. And all you have to do is put the pieces in there and they match. What I would do is have a anchor chart with some of them so that they could look back and remember. And then I'd also have a pocket chart. So as I build all 3 of them that rhyme, the pieces are out of the sensory bin and onto that pocket chart. Just something that I would do, but you do not have to do that. And then one thing that I do is if a student finishes their recording sheet, I give there's 5 minutes remaining. And it's probably something that you might not be able to get away with, but I just did it anyways, because when my door's closed, it's closed and I do what I want, is I let them play for the last 5 minutes in the side of the sensory bin. I let them squeeze it, play it with it, and they're not really doing rhyming, but they've worked for me for 10 to 15 minutes incredibly hard, and I let them enjoy those 5 minutes inside the sensory bin to play. And I taught them, if a administrator comes through, you guys just pick up the recording sheet and pretend to be writing. And my kids know that, because we work really hard on the rigor and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to. My kids were pro. And administration would walk through and they're like, wow, your sensors are amazing. And I had 2 minutes left. And my kids knew they had their stuff done. It was put away. They knew what they were doing. So I encourage you, when your door is closed, you do what's best for your students. But sensory bins are what my kids absolutely love. So I had to incorporate another one. So you'll get rhyming. And sensory bin is the code. And with these, since, I keep them for dental health for the whole month of February, I usually will put these inside of my cool down kits because they're squishy and they're calm, and my kids absolutely love them. So it's just another great tool if you wanted to include them in March's cool down center so that you have longer use out of them. It works perfect for that too. So I try to take everything that I buy and try to, use it multiple uses for the kids. All right, so that was center 10. And type in sensory bin. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, moving on to number 11. One of my favorite reading strategies, which I'm so excited I was able to post. So if you've been following me, you know that I have posted Stretchy Snake, dun dun dun. So they say the sound slowly and they blend it together to read the word. So Stretchy Snake is just a reading strategy that teaches students to sound out words by stretching them out and then blending them all together to hear the complete word. And, we know that good readers figure out by stretching the word out when they come to an unknown or a tricky word to use this reading strategy. Yes. Okay. And, sorry, he was interrupting me. Now, there are multiple ways to use this. So here is another bin. Of course, you know how I love my bins. This one is 2, so I have my clothespins, and then I have the tool I use for Stretchy Snake. So the phoneme segmentation is the ability to break words into individual sounds like run or So using a slinky, I show the kids how I stretch the word and then how I snap it back together. And I have the children illustrate that using their own slinkies. I have the big one with the big, huge snake head. But for dental health, you can see here is a tooth version. And we'll start with their palms together, stretching it apart, and then snapping the word back together. And the cards that come with this are self-correcting. So you can see here, this is wax, but you will fold it like this. I didn't fold it just because I know I'm going to be shipping it to you, so I know it'd be absolutely huge. So they sound out again with beginning, middle, and end with a green, yellow, red. They use their Stretchy Snake to sound the word out, and then they take the clip out and they can check to see if they're correct. So again, this is an independent center that's self-correcting, so the kids are practicing their strategy, and they'll always have the right answer. And you can see here, well, it's upside down. Again, includes the I can, and I included all short A in this one that you're going to win, but Stretchy Snake is like 300 pages, and you can get all of the different vowels in this. Okay, you're going to get all of the slinkies. There's, I think, 9 of them. You're going to get all of the short A cards. You're going to get all of the slinkies, and I will throw in the bin for you as well so that you can incorporate it. And let's see, where did I put my secret code? Aha. My secret code is snake for Stretchy Snake. So just type in the code. Oh, that's so awesome, Jen. I'm so glad that you bought that one. So type in snake, one of my favorite reading strategies. My next one is another reading strategy, and it's what I call Chunky Monkey. So I'm going to keep going just because I know this has been a long time. I'm keeping you on your Saturday, so I appreciate you staying this long. Now, dental health. So you will see here there's monkeys brushing their teeth. There's monkeys that are flossing. I didn't open it because I wanted to show you that it's all new, but I also didn't write on it because I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So do you have students who like know their letters and they can sound out each sound by sound but haven't quite figured out how to connect those sounds? Well, one way that I begin is helping students recognize patterns in words, so the word families. And good readers can chunk or use small words inside of big words to figure out when they have unknown or tricky words. So by chunking a word, they use the part that they know, and that helps them figure out the word that they don't know. So Chunky Monkey allows them to break down the word into chunks or word parts that they already know. And I didn't write the words on the bottom because depending on what level your students are at, you can have, let's say you're focusing on the chunk and. You could have fan, ran, and then you can, if you had like a first grade class, you might do the words hand, sand, land. Or if you are doing in, let's say bin, fin, tin, some harder ones that you might do would be like into or chin, skin, twinkle. So you really can accommodate multiple different levels with your students on Chunky Monkey. So this is one that I personally would do a water center. I know that's probably a little bit scary if you haven't done sensory bins before. These monkeys here are actually where you can squeeze. So if you have a class that hasn't mastered centers, I wouldn't jump right into a water center. But if you're pre-K, maybe you don't even do Chunky Monkey. You might even just throw this in a water table, and it'd be really cool to just even see them play with the monkeys. So, this really could be from pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, depending on what works for you. And just like the other ones, you have the song that goes with it. So Chunky Monkey, you have the poster that goes with it, and you can see here like for and chunk. So you can see that there's parts of words and chunking. And you also have the mats. So you would have them build with magnetic letters if you would like. And of course, all the monkeys. And I'm going to include this small bin just in case you wanted to put them in ore beads, really up to you. And the secret code is monkey. Now, Chunky Monkey is not on Teachers Pay Teachers yet, but I am about 80% done, and I'm about ready to post it, but I'm just looking over, making sure there's no mistakes. But the word is monkey to win this. Now, my Chunky Monkey set is going to include so much more than just the recording sheets and all of that you're going to get. But for dental health, this was a fun activity to include. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to write monkey. And here is some of the recording sheets that you'll use if you choose to do the Chunky Monkey. That's awesome, Sandy. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. All right, we're almost done. Number 13. My hubby's going to have a lot of work to do, go through these comments. I'm giving him that job. All right. Moving on to number 13 is what I call cavity search. And this is something if you're like a 7 Habits school or a Leader in Me and you're trying to work together cooperatively, or you're Kagan and you're trying to work as a team, this is something that I would do. So they have a mat, and there's multiple different ones. You have letters, CVC words, and sight words, and you take a expo marker, you cover up whatever it is, depending on the skill, and then you use a toothbrush to erase it. And so it's fun, it's engaging, the students love it, and it's perfect for your dental health theme. And you can use it for multiple levels. So you can just say, okay, go to cavity, and the students know, well, I'm in cavity, but I'm working on letters. I'm in cavity, I'm working on sight words. I'm in cavity, I'm working on CVC words. So it's one center, but yet you have multiple levels working at the same time, but it's still the same center. It's still the same expectations. So I'm going to show you. There was the letter one, but here is the sight word one. Again, they just erase using, now I'm using my finger, but they're using the toothbrush, and it reveals the word, and then they write it here. And there is an editable version included in this, so if you do not win and you want to do your own sight words, that's also editable, which is even more awesome. And then for the CVC one, they have CVC words, and then they color in the cavity, erase it, and then they write the CVC word. And I did it by word families so that you can pull it for whatever word family that you're working on. And this is going to be, since it's really big, it's going to be 2 winners. So I'm going to pick one winner that's going to win the alphabet version, and then one winner that's going to win CVC and sight words. And included in that, I'm going to be giving you expo markers, because you need expo markers, and brand new ones, because what teacher doesn't need expo markers? And then one is going to win the toothbrushes in a container, and another one's going to win multiple toothbrushes, so that I'll probably pair this one with letters, because we know that pre-K and kindergarten can destroy things. So the special code for this is cavity. So just type in cavity to win this. Thank you for everybody that's joined me and staying with me. All right, that was number 13. We only have 3 more to go, guys. All right, while you're typing in cavity, I'm going to keep going. So I feel bad that I've taken so much time from you guys, is phoneme substitution. So phonemic awareness and being able to manipulate the sounds. So I mentioned prior blending and segmenting, and they're 2 very important phonemic awareness tasks. And the remaining manipulation is to substitute the letters and delete them. And phoneme substitution is being able to replace that phoneme in a word and replace it with a new phoneme and make a new word. And this is a very important step that often gets skipped, and it's really important for the development of literacy and their language development. And I usually will start with one substitution before I teach the other. And in this one, you have ending sounds, you have changing the middle sound, and changing the beginning sound. There are 77 cards in each one of these bags, completely different. And so they say pen, they change it to pin, so they're changing the middle sound, and then they take letter tiles, and then they build the word. And this is one that I definitely would have self-correcting, and I have this in my center before it even goes out to a center. This is one that if I'm really targeting this skill. And then you flip it over, and then you can put a sticker to make it self-correcting. And they have mats where you're going to put the letter tiles on after they build the word. And I've included multiple different ones, girls and boys, and different skin colors, so you can really choose the one that your students want. So in this center, you're going to get letter tiles, you're going to get the phoneme cards, and the mats. So your secret code for this one is letter tiles. 2 words, letter tiles. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I was so nervous because Facebook Live just scares me, and you guys are amazing. All right, number 15. We're getting close. 2 left, guys, is blending mats. And if you've been following me, you know that I try to incorporate blending mats for every single month because I have a student that's usually ready to read every single month. And this is just another step. So this is in my small groups, but also for the ones who have mastered it will be in their literacy center. And I usually will start with the sound boxes and the bingo chips when I teach this. So you'll see that this one is not dental health themed because it's something that I use to teach. I usually won't keep that with theme, but you can see here, this is all different types of bedrooms and kids sleeping. So what do you think is going to be flying in the bedroom to sound out the words? Dun, dun, dun. Of course, we had to have the tooth fairy fly and sound out k, act. And so they fly over the bed and they're able to read the word. There's different tooth fairies included. And you can see here that I told you that this one was blank. I'm going to include skateboards because I know how much the kids absolutely love to manipulate and move things around. So this is a Tooth Fairy Smile skateboard, so you can theme it. So for your girls, most likely they're going to want the Tooth Fairy, and the boys, but like I said, you let them choose, and you'll get the mats. You're going to get the counter so that you can teach them initially and be able to move every single phoneme and blend them together, and the letter cards. Now, I started making these blending cards with just letter cards, but as my students mastered them, I started to teach digraphs. And so I started to include the digraphs, and I started to include like AR, IR, and OO and OU because I was starting to teach that, and I know a lot of those skills in first grade have that, so this is perfect for first grade as well. And I usually will color code them so you can see they're bright, different colored cards. So you can differentiate depending on where your kids are, if you're learning cat or if they're learning that. Really is awesome. And the fact that you can keep it fun and exciting month to month to month depending on the themes. So you're going to win the mats, you're going to win the counters, you're going to win the Tooth Fairy, the letter cards, all of that. And the key to that is Tooth Fairy. So type in Tooth Fairy. I'm so glad that this is helping you guys. It's awesome. I'm so glad that I'm able to give you guys ideas. All right. Last and final center. We've made it. 16. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so number 16 is a center that you can find that I just posted just the other day, Roll and Read. So reading fluently allows the students their attention and understanding of the meaning of the text. And they have to be able to read accurately and with expression and read at appropriate rate. And when usually what happens is when they read at a slower rate, then their comprehension is not as good because they're focusing on decoding. So developing their fluency and having them practice with fluency centers. So of course, I'm sure you're pulling your groups, but this is another way that you can incorporate it into centers, but at their level. So you can really, because this is editable, accommodate where you want your kids to be. So you can see this is how it is. It's completely blank. And you have the dice on the side. And I've printed off some ones so that you can see how you can make it editable. You could do it where it's I like this, so you're keeping it predictable, what I call predictable sentences. So you have the sight words that are the same and you're only changing one or two words out. So the kids are getting confident being able to go with their fluency. You can have different ones that incorporate the sight words that you're focusing on. Or you could start with letter fluency, A, C, F, D, or you can move it on to word fluency, making them read the, see, at, me. So you can edit them so that it's really up to you on what you want to practice for fluency. And this is a freebie in my store. So like I said, dice is something that students absolutely love, and you can print this off today, right now, if you wanted to. And it's multiple levels. It's easy prep, print, go, and you're done. But something that I wanted to add to the center is these really cool tooth dice. Now, our timers, these timers are awesome because you just flip them, and they're actually used for brushing teeth so that it clocks the time that your child is supposed to be brushing their teeth, which is 2 minutes. And timers are scary for kids, especially when it comes to fluency. I know as soon as I pop open my timer, the kids freak out. So this is a way to incorporate timers in a fun way so that the kids don't really see timers as a negative thing. And as they flip it over, they're trying to roll the dice. So you're going to get dice. So I have multiple dice that I'm going to send you. Whatever dice they land on, they have to read. So if they read, let's say 1, I like to go to school, there is mini erasers that are teeth, and they cover that one. Now, if they roll 1 again, they have to read it, but they don't get to cover it again. So whoever covers all of the dice first wins. And again, we teach everybody wins because we play to have fun, but the kids really like it, and then they use the timers, and whoever at the end of the timer has the most filled up or reaches all of them wins. So you can cover the sentence with the tooth erasers as just a placement. It's fun, or you don't even have to use erasers, but it's just a way that I did it with my kids, and they loved it, so I just wanted to show you. So you're going to get the timers, the erasers, and I am going to give you the link to where you can download it. And the secret code is timer. So if you would like to win the timer and the tooth and the dice, make sure you type in the code timer. Yep, and I'm trying to catch up to all of your comments. And thank you to the ones who are reading and commenting and letting people know where everything is. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sticking around. We're not quite done yet. So I showed you all 16 fun centers that I use for dental health. Now there are multiple and many more in my store. So I wanted to thank everyone who stayed and watched everything, but don't forget to hit subscribe, because if you're catching this also in the replay, you also have a chance to win. And there's a special code to win. I'm going to be picking a winner. You ready? So for Mud Hippo, I told you that you stayed to the end and you watched it. I'm going to give this until next week. So if you're watching now, you can type it. But if you also are catching this tomorrow or the next day or Monday, you have a chance to win. And the special code is Carolyn. So this is a tooth game that goes with one of my centers that I showed you earlier. You just type in my name, and you have a chance to win the hippo. And if you did not win, don't worry, guys. I'm going to post the winners here real soon. Make sure you hit the love button. And I'm going to be reposting this into YouTube tomorrow. And I will post this on Facebook and tell you the YouTube link. And when you're on YouTube, you're going to tell me what was your favorite activity out of all of them. And I'm going to be giving away a Teachers Pay Teachers gift card for commenting on the YouTube link. So I will let you know the YouTube link after I post it. I truly hope, guys, that you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see these centers into your classroom. So make sure that you tag me if you post pictures, because I absolutely love to see these things in the classroom, and I can't wait to see them implemented in your room. I'm going to put all the winners in a post make sure that you message me your address so I can get them shipped out to you as soon as possible and into the hands of your students. Thank you again, guys, so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I appreciate you tuning in, guys. Much love. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.